How's everybody doing? My name's Nick. If you haven't seen my recent videos, I'll link them in the description. If you don't know about my channel, I'm posting pretty much all car videos now, and I modifying cars. So I have a 2021 Ram 2500. I've done like 60 videos on this car, Overland Build, camper. You can check it out. Lift, all kinds of stuff, and solar on it. You can check those videos out as well. But recently, I've been posting a lot about reliability and used cars, and I'm hedging my bet a little bit here. I need to focus more on a cheap car that I know how to fix, that's very reliable, that the parts are easy to get, because I just don't really know what's going on, right? But, who knows what's going to happen? Sky's not falling, I'm not talking about that, but you just got to prepare for it. I have a wife and a son, and yeah, I live in the middle of nowhere, so it's nice to have a backup vehicle. It really is nice to have a backup vehicle that you trust. This one I have here is a 2000 Yukon XL 2500. So a very, very capable car. It's pretty rare, but the parts are the same as the 1500. There's millions of this platform on the road. So if you're interested in that sort of stuff, you can subscribe. I got all the links for my recent videos in the description. But I wanted to talk about my wife's car. Something interesting happened, and it got me thinking about some stuff. But first, let me tell you what happened. She's got a 2016 Grand Cherokee. It's a good car. It's not that big, but it's okay. It gets good gas mileage. It's got 75,000 miles on it. And we had a big cold spell here for a week, and we don't garage that car. So one day she went out there to start it, didn't start. I was like, oh, it's the cold, right? So I go in, pop the hood, and this is the first time I've ever messed with this car. Truly. I've changed the brakes and I changed the oil over time, but I've never even touched anything with the battery. I popped the hood, no battery. So, like, where the hell's the battery in this car? Really actually threw me for a loop. And I was like, I just did a quick Google search and I'm like, oh, the battery's underneath the seat, the passenger seat. Now, I've only had one car, two cars, I guess. BMW. I had a BMW 98 323 IS, which is that's the rarest car I've ever owned. 323 IS. They only made it for 1 year, and it was in the trunk, as most of the 3 Series were. And I had another 3 Series, I think, that also had it in the trunk, but it was new, and I never really needed to look at it. But I assume it was in the trunk too. So I was like, whoa, this thing's under the seat. But they provide you a way to jump it under the hood. So I connect the RAM up, I jump it, starts right away, I'm happy. I let it idle for a while, I don't even know, 10 minutes, 15 minutes. I come back, I'm going to say, all right, let's just turn it off and turn it on, just make sure everything's good. I turn it off, I go to hit on, doesn't turn on. But the lights are on, the radio's on, the fan was going for the heater. And I'm like, what's happening here? I don't understand. How does it have the power? How does it have the juice? So I'm a little bit confused. I put a voltmeter on that jumper spot under the hood, and it reads good. And I said, all right, I don't know what's happening here, but I can't jump the thing, but it's got battery. So I said, all right, let me go and just double check this battery. Let me double check, because you never know. Sometimes when batteries get old, it's a 2016, it could be the same battery. It could be the battery from the dealership, right? It could be, it's possible. I mean, that's crazy, but it could be. Weird things can happen when a battery's about to die. So what do? I freaking take the seat out, I undo this thing, I open it up, and I look inside, and I see 2 batteries. And now I'm totally lost. Let me tell you something right now. I am absolutely just so annoyed. Freaking Grand Cherokee, man, 2016, what are you doing to me? You got this thing underneath the seat and there's 2 batteries? What is happening here? What the hell what is going on right now with these 2 batteries? I gotta replace both of these things? This is crazy. I looked up a price of a battery. I thought I was just getting this one. It was $250. I didn't realize there was a second battery. Holy crap. I was like, what is this second battery? And then I did some more research and I found out that every car with that start-stop feature has a second battery. And I was like, oh my God. So the cold killed the big battery and the small battery. And when I turned the car off and tried to turn it on again, it was going to try and use the small battery to turn it on.
Okay, I know what this is about. This is about start-stop. This car has start-stop. You can see it right there. And if it has a start-stop on it, it comes with a second battery. So it must use this small battery to start the car up. You know what I mean? Like when you take your foot off the brake, you come to a complete stop, it shuts the car down, you take your foot off the brake, it starts it up again. It must use this battery. All right, I guess I'm taking these things to both to Napa and see what happens. Maybe I get lucky and just this thing's bad. I doubt on that. Like, I bet you they're both bad.
So I said, all right. I pulled both batteries out and I wanted to make sure. I brought them over to an AutoZone. I had them do a charger for the big battery, but they couldn't do a charger for the small battery. They couldn't charge it. They said the battery would explode if I put it on the charger. So I had to buy a new one. Couldn't charge it up. Now, maybe I could have charged it up, but I didn't want to take a chance, on my end. But I didn't want to take a chance on that. I bought a new small battery, $150 for this start-stop battery. I put the thing in. They had charged up the big battery for me, and the car is okay now. But clearly, the bigger battery, which is 8 years old, it was the original battery. That thing's going to go sometime in the near future, so I'm going to have to replace it. What it really got me thinking about is all the nonsense features that are happening now that are just going to cause problems, and how we did really well 20 years ago when we had the basic stuff like heated seats and window lock. Still had airbags back then, right? We still had important features, but do we need start-stop? No. And do we need these systems to turn off the cylinders? We don't need them, but clearly we have to have them, and that's one thing that's probably never going to go away, right? It's a frustrating situation, but you know, for environmental reasons, we're going to have those. But there's some other stuff that just makes me insane. I got this on the Ram. You put it into reverse, have the door open, just, trying to back up, that thing will throw it right into park. If you go over like 1 mile an hour, it just, boom, it throws it right into park. It's a safety thing. That's great. But, I'm just trying to get some work done here. You're going forward in drive, it will slam it into park if that door is open. I can't stand that stuff. I mean, just let me get my job done. I just got to get some work done here, please. And it's so jarring, and it's bad for terrible for the transmission, just slamming something in the park like that. Another feature that, look, people might be like, you don't wear your seatbelt. Well, sometimes if I'm driving up to my neighbor's house that's like 3 houses away, I'm not going to put my seatbelt on. If I'm in the woods somewhere, we're jumping from spot to spot looking for grouse or something like that, I'm not going to wear my seatbelt. And I got to listen to this beeping nonstop with these new cars. It's like, Jesus, it's a little annoying. This car doesn't have either of those things. Here's another thing, and this is just an annoying thing. It's just you got to press the brake to start these cars now with the buttons. My Ram does it, and look, if you're sitting in the car, not a big deal. But if you want to go in and start the car and let it idle, I mean, you need a ladder to get into this freaking Ram. So I got to climb into the thing. If not, what I'm doing is that I'm like pushing on the brake pedal with my hand and getting mud all over it, and I'm hitting the button like this, like a moron. I mean, what happened? When did we get away from keys? Where is the benefit of getting away from keys? Now, like I could see the big thing, and I had this on a car from not 20 years ago, but almost 20 years ago, is that you have that key in your pocket. You grab the handle, and it unlocks it. And that's obviously nice. It was a brand new BMW, though. I mean, the thing was a brand new BMW. Do we need to have these $500 programmable keys that don't even do that, just so you could have them in your pocket and press the start button? Where's the benefit? What are we saving here? We're not saving. There's no emissions, right? There's no safety thing. In fact, it's actually less safe, to be honest with you, right? What happened to keys? I don't understand. It was so cheap. I mean, even the ones with the key that you put in and turned on. In 2018, I had a Silverado that had a key, right? But it did have a chip in it. And you did have to actually get it programmed. But if you had two keys, you could buy a key for, I don't know what, maybe $100 or something like that, and you could program it yourself. But with these dongle keys, right, you can't do anything with it. The key costs $350, then it costs $150 to program it, and you have to do it from the dealership. I mean, it's mind-blowing what has happened. So I don't know what we're gaining with these features. I mean, obviously admissions in some cases. I mean, the start-stop, I guess we're gaining about a quarter MPG on my wife's car. Great. Really appreciate that. I don't get it too much. When these features break, they're a lot of money. I don't even understand what's going on with batteries now. I paid $150 for a 200 cold cranking amp battery when 10 years ago, a normal battery was cheaper than that. Now, the big battery for my wife's car, it's a 2016, costs $250. This is 700 cold cranking amp batteries, $250. What in the world happened to batteries? I don't get it. Now, this battery did last, right? We're on year 8, so I'm kind of happy about that. That's nice. But is it twice as long? I don't know. 5-6 years I've seen batteries go for a long time ago, so we got to go to about 10-12 years. 10-12 years for a $250 battery for it to matter, right? For it to make sense, right? Because batteries used to cost $125, I'm sure, or less. What do they put? Did they put computers in these batteries? Why are they so much more expensive? I don't really get it too much. Maybe it's the materials they're using now that allows. They're definitely not making them lighter. I can tell you this, you need a forklift to get this battery out. It was ridiculous. If this battery was dead and my wife had to go and take, she was like, hey, I'll go and let me take the battery. I'm like, Sam, we're going to have to trailer a front loader for you to get this battery and bring it into AutoZone. It's not possible. You cannot lift this thing up. The thing weighs like 70 pounds. It's absurd what these batteries weigh. So they're not saving weight. That I can tell you for certain. They're doing something else in there, and they're charging double. So, it's blowing my mind. But these features, I could do without them. And when they break, they cost a lot of money to fix. We'll see what happens with this starter if I have to do that. Hopefully not. All right, everyone. All right, I'll see you.